Hello Year 3 and welcome to Lesson 3 of Art Week, and today we're going to be demonstrating different types of shading. So now's the time to put down the dates and that LO there to demonstrate different types of shading in your sketchbook. Very good, we will move on with the lesson. So over the next 2 weeks, obviously we're going to make our Robin Hood show with characters, music and a script, but today we're going to make Nottingham Castle for the play using shading skills that we're going to learn in this lesson. And there's a sneak preview at some of them there. Look, there's hatching, contour hatching and cross hatching that we're going to look at, and that's only 3 of them. Okay, let's see how we're going to do it. Well, why do we have shading first of all? What can you see in this picture over here? That's right, we have the sun in the top corner here, and it's beaming down on this side of the apple, which means that the sun can't be seen on this side. So what are we going to need to do? We're going to need to shade it, and that's exactly the after picture that we have here. We've shaded the apple for the bit that the sun can't see, and even look here, we've shaded the ground where the apple is too. And we know how to do that because we look at the rays of the sun, and then we can measure with our ruler right down to the surface, which is the table here. We can see how big this shadow would be as well. It's genius. We're going to have a look at how we can shade that in a moment. Now, if you're in class with me, we're going to go through a video on how to shade beginners with this apple. If you're at home, I'd recommend going on to the YouTube and finding this video to play, and so that you can see how it's done step by step. But if not, we'll be in class and we'll go through it as well. First of all, we're going to practice some shading though ourselves, and I'm going to give you a chance to work along 6 boxes here and keep shading more and more heavily as you get to the end, just like this example up the top. So we're going to try and copy the example down below in our next squares. So we're going to start off light with our pencils and then begin to shade darker as we go along. Good luck, pause the video and give that a go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, here are the different types of shading. Now, what are they? We have hatching. Now that's little faint lines that go straight across there. What might we need to make straight lines and make them really thin? Yeah, we need a ruler, and we also need to do them really softly and really lightly. We don't do it as if we're underlining our LO. It doesn't have to be thick. It's going to be really thin because we're shading. And do we shade all of it? No, we're only going to shade half. Okay, so in this box below, I want you to shade half of the box using this hatching technique. Once you've done that, I'd like you to shade in this half of the box here using contour hatching, which we won't use a ruler for because although it's sideways lines, we're going to do them in curves. Cross hatching is where you have these lines here that curve like the contours, but you're also going to do them down as well so that the lines cross. That's cross hatching, and we'll be using half the box again. Once you've done that, there's random hatching, which is completely up to you how you create those lines. Just try and recreate that in the box below. Stippling is creating little dots. Now, I don't want to see anybody slam their pencil down and stab the paper with it. You're going to do little dots on the box just here. And then finally there's ink wash, and that means that we're going to shade, but we're also going to smudge it with our thumb as well to give that effect. Okay, pause the video, try to fill in half of each of those boxes with those different types of shading, and then we're ready to move on. And we are ready in 3, 2, 1. Okay, Now, I'm going to give you a sheet if you're in class. If not, then I would like you to try and draw a circle and a triangle. Don't worry about the cube. The circle and the triangle, I'd like you to try and use one of those different types of shading, whichever one is your favourite. See if you can find different pencils as well as if you're at home, because we'll be using different pencils to do this in the classroom. As long as they're not coloured pencils. 3, 2, 1. Okay, now it's time to move on to our castles. So each one of you will be getting this template here in the class. If not, then see if you can draw your own castle based on this. And we're going to draw lines across it as we have here. Now on each of those lines, we're going to shade the whole of the castle wall using these different types of shading. So I might do the top line as hatching. I might do the next one as random hatching. I could even do the next one as cross hatching. We're trying to make the dark castle walls that really give us a different scene to the one that we had yesterday in the forest. This is the sheriff's castle, and it needs to show us that he's an evil man. So let's shade it in our different techniques and then unpause the video when we're ready. 3, 2, 1. Okay, now we're going to look, now that we've done that, we've got our castle scene ready, we're going to have a look at L.S. Lowry. And he was an artist, and this is one of his most famous pieces of work here. And it was in 1943. It was called Going to Work. Now, what do you see? What are your thoughts? And what is the mood of the time or place? Just pause the video, have a think, and then we'll come up with some thoughts together. 3, 2, 1. Okay, well, I would say that there's a lot of different people, and it's clearly not at the time of Robin Hood, because look at all of the buildings. It's probably at the time that L.S. Lowry was around in 1943. I would say, though, there's a lot of people, they all look like they're going to a particular place. They're all going in a similar direction, and they're all going to work. Does it look like people are having fun? No, but they're all smartly dressed, and it looks like we've got a factory blowing some smoke into the air there, and it's dark as well, isn't it? It's quite dark colours that he's used, which shows that the mood isn't a very jolly or happy one. It's one that we are going to try and replicate in a moment with our own drawings. What do you notice as well about the people? We'll have a look at that in a moment. So Lowry, this wasn't uncommon for him. He used to paint cities and towns, landscapes of factories, mills, chimneys, and the workers who went to work there day after day. And his human figures, the way that he made people, were nicknamed matchstick men, because you might see that they're all very thin and very small. And they all have colours there to show that they're each individuals. No one really looks the same. We'll have a closer look there at some of our people. He used to do it in pencil, charcoal and pen as well. So we're going to have a try to draw some of these people in our sketchbooks. And we're going to do it in exactly the same style as Lowry, and we're going to label exactly how we've done it, what they look like based on the last few slides of the video. So they were small, spindly, matchstick people. But they're not really matchstick as we know them, are they? Because they have bodies, they have heads, they're not just matchstick men. So we're going to have to try to recreate that. Pause the video now and give it a try in your art books. 3, 2, 1. And that is it. That's our final task for the day. Well done, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for more.